that, of course, is a story for another day, and I'll see you, and we'll talk about that down the road.
Welcome, wrestling fans. You got the show Bill Schuyler here at One Wrestling's NXT news and reviews for April 13th, 2016. Let's get right down to it. We open up with William Regal thanking the NXT Universe for the success of TakeOver Dallas. We're looking forward to matches tonight, including tag team action with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus the Vaudevillians. We will have Bayley in her first match since losing the title to Asuka. And, the TV debut of Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke? That's right, Shinsuke Nakamura, the king of strong style in the NXT arena, will be graced by the presence and the grandeur of Nakamura. Our first match of the night would be Angelo Dawkins going up against Austin Aries. That's right, the greatest man who ever lived. AEW proved it to Dawkins tonight through total domination and a convincing victory by Austin Aries. Just great outing by Austin. I still think he is feeling his way into the WWE system, and also in dealing with the much larger ring, which for a smaller athlete compared to the bigger guys, it's a really large ring, coming from the TNA Impact or Ring of Honor or the Indies. But Aries will pick it up quick, and the former TNA Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, Ring of Honor Champion, TNA X Division Champion, Tag Team it goes on and on. Austin Aries is, again, one of the greatest wrestlers in the business, and you really, truly need to go check out his work. Go here on YouTube, look up what you can to find his matches, and you will not be disappointed. Match number 2 of the night, we had Alexa Bliss going up against Tessa Blanchard. Now, if the name Blanchard rings a bell to you wrestling fans, I'd have to say, think about it. And if you got some time in and know your work, you know that Blanchard is from the Blanchard lineage of Joe Blanchard. That's right, Joltin' Joe Blanchard and his son, Tully Blanchard, of the Four Horsemen, Tully Blanchard. That's right. The only thing he does is get dressed quickly, as he would say back in the day. Tessa is, in my opinion here, just as good as, if not a better wrestler than Alexa Bliss. And you just know that Triple H is salivating at the thought of being able to bring Tessa and Charlotte together, along with 2 more, and create the real 4 women, or 4 horsewomen, and unleash that in the WWE universe. I actually would look forward to that myself. That would be quite interesting, having a female stable taking on the other women wrestlers in the business. And that's right, I said women's wrestlers because there's no more divas. This match here went back and forth, and then Bliss snapped. Eyes bugged out of her head. She grabbed her up. She put her down. Tessa Blanchard got put down, and when I thought she was going to hit the Sparkle Splash, Alexa Bliss actually did the moonsault and dropped both knees into Tessa Blanchard's abdomen, taking her out of the game, and it was a 1-2-3, and your winner was Alexa Bliss. Our third match of the night, we had Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus Simon Gotch and Aiden English, the Vaudevillians. As the Vaudevillians were already, basically they're a wrestling wrestling team that's made its way to SmackDown, and for all intents and purposes, they're really only going to be here in NXT for maybe a couple or a few weeks, and then they're going to be completely going up into that main roster. And with the number one contendership tag team tournament being made by the New Day, these guys are involved in it, and I expect them to move up through, one or two, maybe 3 wins, which would be, they really give it their hump. I mean, these guys are former NXT tag team champions, and they deserve that rub. But I digress here. They had a golden opportunity, Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, in knocking off these former tag team champions, the Vaudevillains, and they would indeed step up to that. It was a great tag team match. Gargano was on fire, and Ciampa proved himself by making Gotch tap with the bridging arm bar. And Simon Gotch would tap, 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 and your winners, Gargano and Ciampa. Gabe Sapolsky's boys. That's right, they are Gabe Sapolsky guys. What? You don't have that t-shirt? Get it. Get it made. Sapolsky guys. Boom. And you can link that in like I just did, because Gabe Sapolsky was hand in hand working with who? Paul Heyman. So yeah, I'm a Heyman guy. I'm a Sapolsky guy. It's just I'm rambling. Forgive me for that. Got a little cold, as you could tell, so I got the cold medicine going, and it's kind of got me kind of like blah. But either way, your next matchup was Tucker Knight going up against Baron Corbin, and it was great to see Corbin in the Andre the Giant Memorial over the top rope match at WrestleMania. To see him going up against other big men in the ring. And here we get to see him going up against, the first big man equal in size and outweighing Corbin that I think he's ever faced in NXT. The big man would go up against Corbin, and he took it to him from the gate. Knight was out to prove something tonight, and he indeed did by taking it to Baron Corbin. But Corbin would, out of nowhere, bang, hit the end of days, and that was it for Tucker Knight. But I think we're going to see Tucker Knight step his way up. We got people going to that main roster, so they got to start bringing some talent up to see what they can do. I think this is a case here of Tucker Knight saying that, you know what, I don't want to be enhancement talent to the guys here at NXT. I want to be the guy beating up the enhancement talent. And he really proved himself to me. I thought it was a great match by him. He had something to prove tonight, and he did. Then we would get Bayley versus Liv Tyler. Liv, New Jersey's own, going up against the former champion Bayley. The crowd here was out of control for Bayley. She was way over with the fans, and that sing-along, chanty thing they do for her went through. And then both women would go at each other back and forth. Liv Tyler was proving herself and giving us a nice, solid match against Bayley, but Bayley would hit her with the Bayley to Bayley for the pin. 1, 2, 3, and then Bayley gave a speech, an in-ring promo, if you will, talking about what happened with Asuka, and that not for the fans to be sad for her loss, that she'll be champion again, and not to be angry at Asuka for winning, because a lot of fans were infuriated that she had lost. She doesn't basically wants to, calm that down and be happy. Well, as Bayley would say, obviously she's a pretty happy girl, because she is the greatest white meat baby face in the business today. I've seen nothing like it ever. She is so over with the fans. This girl here, I can't see her turning heel. Maybe some point down the road, but for right now, her gimmick is way, way over, and I think it's going to go way over on the main roster, and I cannot wait to see that the main roster's crowd would start that chanty sing-along thing on Raw or SmackDown or the pay-per-view. That'd be outstanding. And then, my friends, we have our last match of the night. We would have Ty Dillinger, the perfect 10, going up against the Japanese sensation, champion from New Japan Pro Wrestling's IWGP title. Numerous titles throughout his career, and this is one of the greatest, if not the greatest wrestler on the planet today. Who am I speaking about? I'm speaking about a man who is not only adept in the ring and skilled more than most, but he also is a fantastic entertainer in that ring. So he's a perfect mix of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. This is a man, in my opinion, that is going to eventually make his way to the world title in the WWE. He's going to have the NXT title without a doubt. Hopefully going up against Finn Balor for that. I want those two to go head to head. I don't want Finn to either move up off the roster or lose the NXT title before facing Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke. If you watch New Japan Pro Wrestling and you've seen Nakamura, you'll know what I'm talking about. For you guys out there who do not watch New Japan and you want to see more of Nakamura and other wrestlers like him in that style, that New Japan thing, urge you, Access Television every Friday night. Josh Barnett and Jim Ross, good old JR, calling the matches. Now these are older matches from about a year or so ago. Some even older than that, and they'll be they move through the night. But it's great to hear these two men calling it in English, and JR is spot on and just moved right into it, and it's so good to hear him back in pro wrestling. I'm wandering off on this, but Shinsuke Nakamura is just worth talking about because of how good he is. And of course, Ty Dillinger is a perfect 10. And Ty really proved himself to me. He had an outstanding night with Nakamura. They put on one of the most entertaining matches I've seen anywhere in a long time. But the perfect 10 would get his butt perfectly kicked by the king of strong style, Nakamura. Solid and impressive outing by Dillinger and Nakamura. Both men swapping off each other's moves and the way they act in the ring and whatnot, which is pretty entertaining. And then all good things must come to an end, and that end was caused by the Kinshasa, as Nakamura would hit him with that knee, that flying knee, and Ty Dillinger would 1, 2, 3, done, out. Your winner, Nakamura. Looking forward to seeing him continue to unleash his magic throughout the squared circle here in the WWE NXT universe. Pointing a little history lesson for you. This finishing move was the same move that he used in New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was called the Balmaye there, which it was a word in, I don't know if it's Congolese or whatever you would call it, but in the Congo, which now, it's the Congo now, but was Zaire way back in the day. That is what the crowd chanted when Ali and Foreman were in the ring. And it was like 10,000 people just chanting that, Boomaye, Boomaye, and the streets were echoing it. It was really wild. If you get a chance to check out that on YouTube. Check that out. Muhammad Ali and George Foreman for the title. And that means to kill him. But I guess the WWE didn't want to promote that. So the name they changed it to Kinshasa because Kinshasa is the original name in Zaire for where the boxing match took place. And Nakamura takes all his influences all over the place. You got him taking in Muhammad Ali, taking in Michael Jackson, taking in all these wrestling greats throughout time. And whatever else, he's a rock star, he's sleazy, he's freaking hot, moves crazy, man. He is just on fire hot, man. You just cannot stop this man. Nakamura is... I'm a mark, and I'm telling you right now that Nakamura is going to own NXT. I want to see him go against Samoa Joe. I want to see him go against Finn Balor. I want him to go up against everybody he can, just to continue to prove how great he is. And had a little more information came released today that there'll be 2 WWE Global Cruiserweight Series qualifying matches taking place at Evolve Wrestling on May 7th. On Saturday, May 7th, Queens, New York, Evolve Wrestling plays host to these 2 qualifying matches. The Evolve Tag Team Champions Tracy Williams and Drew Gulak will face each other in the first qualifier. The second match, rookie Fred Yehi versus TJ Perkins, the 15-year veteran, formerly known as Suicide and then Manic. He also on the Indies was known as Puma, and down in Mexico as Sadistico. He's a former X Division champion and one of the most entertaining and great high flyers in the business. I'm talking about, again, TJ Perkins. So I'm looking forward to seeing what transpires between these two. And then eventually having all of them moving forward in the GCS, going up against the following wrestling stars who are so far been named, and that's NXT's Rich Swann, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa. And we got Dragon Gate USA, Akira Tozawa. Also, he's a wrestler in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla and Chikara. And an unknown product. Not much is known about this guy. His name is Ho Ho Lun, and he is from Middle Kingdom Wrestling in Hong Kong. So I got no idea, no way to get any, I got nothing on YouTube, finding matches, see what happens. And we got Lince Dorado from Chikara and throughout the Indies, all part of the Global Cruiserweight Series. And this is going to be an amazing, amazing event. Again, that's being held at 6:30 p.m. at La Boom in Queens, New York for Revolve. And then they're going to be Progress Wrestling in the UK will be hosting their qualifiers. And again, they'll be playing host to that. And that's going to be Jack Gallagher versus Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. And let me see what they got here. Zack Sabre Jr. going up against rookie sensation Flash Morgan Webster. Zack Sabre Jr., one of the seeds in this series that is very high up, and they're looking, he's one of the ones they're calling that could win this thing. Will Ospreay, another one. If you haven't checked that, Will Ospreay, another British unbelievable high flyer guy. He just had some tremendous matches on the indies just recently, and he's all over the world, and he is insane. Just punch him up on YouTube and watch his matches. They're awesome. Um, I don't know anything about Flash Morgan, uh, and neither Jack Gallagher or Pete Dunne, as those two are journeymen, if you will, wrestling all over the place, but having no particular home. And I couldn't really find much out about either one of those. And that's going to be on Sunday, uh, April 24th at 8 p.m. in the Electric Ballroom in Camden Town, London. For all our UK fans out there. And a shout out to Kenny Killer and Tom Brady at the Sunday Segway. Boom. I'm going to get in contact with you two guys to see if you can give me the rundown on these UK wrestlers that are going to be in the tournament. I can bring that here and let you guys know some more information on them. And if any information you need for this, you can go to Twitter at thisis_progress, and you can find out ticket times and prices and all that. And Evolve, of course, you go for Evolve at evolvewrestling.com. That's everything I got for this week's NXT news and reviews. Check me out on Twitter at YouGotTheShow. Give me a follow, and I will follow you right back. And Big Slam Nation, follow us at Big Slam Nation on Twitter. And that's myself, Big Ray at Big Ray Show, OK Fabe at OKAYFABE, Fame Black at Fame Black, Billy Ray Valentine at Obi-Wan You Know Me, and dirtiest in the city, 8-Track Brown. Follow him at Pharaoh of Fancy. Each and every week, we give you a rundown on everything going on in the sport of professional wrestling and everything that is sports entertainment. As a matter of fact, we will be shooting a show this Friday night, and you could be available and catch that sometime in the late or early morning hours of Saturday. And check us out on YouTube with that. Give us a follow. Hit all of us up on Twitter. I am very active on Twitter. And I do links and everything else to let you guys be able to be in tune with what's going on, not just with One Wrestling and the Big Slam Nation, but what's going on everywhere in pro wrestling. And of course, cannot forget the man, the boss, El Jefe Mero Mero. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the icon, the legend, the Hall of Famer, Bill Apter at Apter1 Wrestling. Give him a follow on Twitter, and he will hit you back as well. And with that, I'll see you, my friends, down the road. And I'll see you right there. Yep, there you go. I'll see you at the match.